I've got a bit of a problem with my washing machine today, and I'm going to try to get it fixed here at home. First, we're going to unplug the power, and I'll show you what's wrong. See how my agitator is freely moving and making the sound? We've got something broken inside. Now, the washer will function without the agitator working properly. However, the motion that it's supposed to make, where it moves then catches, is what turns your clothing. It knocks the clothing against itself, and it gives the scrubbing motions. That's what gets it clean. Your newer washers, you don't have to worry about that. The front loaders, because it tumbles the clothing, but there's nothing wrong with this design. So give me a few minutes to reposition everything, and I'm going to show you how to take this apart. First, we'll go over the tools that we need for the job though. Alright, for our tools that we need, we've got a pair of needle nose pliers, we've got a 7/16 socket, standard socket wrench, and something that's going to be required is a socket extension. This particular type is a flex extension, not necessary for this job, and is generally 2 to 3 times more expensive than a standard extension. But if you do a lot of work at home or you work on automobiles, I would go ahead and invest the $29 to $35 needed for one of these. These 3 pieces are simply adapters, so I can connect this through this. We have a toothbrush because we're going to encounter some things that need to be cleaned. Some water for the toothbrush. This is some laundry detergent because we're going to have an O-ring to replace, most likely, that lubricates up very well with this. These are the parts for the cam, the dogs. It's what they're called. Forgive the accent, that probably came out sounding like D-A-W-G, but it's meant to be D-O-G. And just a washer, a couple lock-in pieces. So, we're going to start with the disassembly now. Alright, we're back again. First step is we're going to remove the cap from the agitator. Most of the time, after time, these get stuck. So I pre-loosened it with a screwdriver. I'm going to reach in, pull off this cap. As you can see, it's a little bit on the dirty side. This is where we're going to replace that O-ring once we get everything cleaned. This sort of lime scale buildup is going to be common for most washers. And give me just a second. If you can see down here in the very center, that's going to be the bolt that we need to remove. Alright, I'm going to set you back here again because I need both hands. There we go. Alright, should be loose. So we'll take the whole assembly off at one time. Just be very gentle with it. We'll set that there. See what we got in here. Yeah. Piece of lint. Thought it was a feather at first. I'll probably be able to get that cleaned out with a little computer duster. Alright, well, we're gonna reset and go over to disassemble the internal components here and get everything clean. Alright, now we're over here. For ease of simplicity in replacing this, I'm going to compare to make sure that this universal kit I got will fit. And I'm going to put the old parts behind the new parts. That way, if I need to, I can repurpose something from the old assembly. If not, I would prefer to just replace all of it with new parts now. There's less chance of breakage in the future. We're going to go ahead and dip this one in our water to soak. I'm using lukewarm water, that way I'm not doing any sort of damage, because warm water may make the parts expand, cold water may make them contract and become brittle. Now, to empty out the assembly, I'm just going to push it forward with my right hand and dump it out with my left. The bolt looks good. Dogs and our cam are pretty dirty. I can't actually tell what the fault and malfunction is with everything, but maybe it'll reveal itself. Let's go get a paper towel. I'm just going to hand wipe that one. Please excuse the potting soil in the floor. I just got through repotting a couple of pepper plants. Thought I'd do this and make them one big mess, then mop everything up. It will fit, but I like the texture and size of this gasket a little better, so we're going to hold on to that one. As you can see, in here our teeth for our cam and dogs is pretty dirty, so we're going to give a light scrubbing here, see what we can do. Well, it's not as stuck on as I was expecting. If I thought about it, I would have simply pulled the top shelf off the dishwasher and ran this through there in one good time. That's alright though. This will work. I'm really hoping the angle is good here. I've got you on a chest harness, so I'm not entirely sure of how much you can see. I'm hoping enough here. We'll give a light scrub in here too. Why not? This probably isn't required cleaning for our fix here, but I believe that a job half done is far worse than a job never started. I don't understand that. I can get behind, you know, something unexpected came up, you have to leave a project for a little while, but when you've got everything you need and begin and then just decide not to finish, it gets a little wonky. I'm not entirely sure that this is mold or hard water staining, because it smells strikingly like my laundry detergent. I wonder if I wonder if the detergent gets in here and breaks down to this substance. Alright. Oh, there went my toothbrush. By the way, that toothbrush is not going near my mouth. That's one that I picked up just for cleaning. Alright, so we're good with this. Oh, that's the problem. That's exactly why she quit functioning right. You won't be able to tell very well on the new one because of the color. But you see how we've got some bright white spots here on the brown? There are small teeth here on the dogs, and those teeth have been sheared off. So that was our culprit. We're going to set that there. We're going to assemble the new one by placing the dogs in their kennels here. That's not the actual name for the bracket. I just think it would have been a good name. Why they didn't call it a kennel is beyond me. Oh, if I don't kick them across the floor here, got a little careless. Alright, we're going to set that down. We did not have this particular part on our original assembly. So I'm going to take a look at the instructions before I reassemble it and see exactly where this goes. If it's not necessary, I'm not going to include it. But we'll go in here, remove the old O-ring and clean everything. Yeah, new one should fit. I'm tempted to take the easy way out and cut the O-ring, but in the off chance that the new one won't fit, I'm just going to remove it. Go. Fabulous little tool. Alright, we're going to soak that. Clean our cover. I'm willing to bet, because there's some residue here and what looks like some actual micro damage to the plastic, that substance on the old O-ring was likely some sort of sealant and not a lubricant. I can't prove this right now, but that's where my mind is going. Get a little bit of our soap on the O-ring. And it may actually be easier to go, yeah, go over the top instead of trying to go over the bottom. Alright, that worked out well. So, wipe my hands off a little bit. A little soap's not going to hurt while we're doing this, because as soon as we get it assembled, we're going to fill the washer up and test it. Alright. Huh. Well, this part doesn't appear in the instructions either. It seems to fit down that way. May just be an extra, well, may just be an extra security to keep the dogs from coming off. Yeah, I think so. We're going to include it. We're going to see. Worst comes to worst, if it doesn't work, I can pull this apart a lot quicker on the second time. All right. We're going to go upward. Alright, a little rough hand test there shows that the action does work. Let's get our bolt. We're going to go ahead and drop it down the center here. Let's get our pliers back for that. Well, oh, there we go. Nope, there we don't. So what's the hardest part about fixing a washer? Lining a bolt up blind. Alright, we're going to super simplify here. Alright, straight down. Okay, we're good again. Alright, well, let's go back to the washer. Alright, back at the washer. I took a little computer duster and did some cleaning. Let's get this lined up. Yeah, it's got to go downward. Pretty sure this is simpler than how I'm making it. Yep, there it is. It was simpler than I was making it. Alright. We're going to set our agitator back down. Adjust our socket to tighten instead of loosen. There we go. Alright. Now, since I'm not entirely certain if that one piece was necessary, I'm going to do a few hand tests here. Okay, well, whether necessary or not, it does function, so we're going to tighten it down a little more. Now, with this one, you don't want to over torque. You just want it to be snug. That way it can still flex, because cold water, hot water, we're going to have a lot of thermal expansion and contraction. We do not want to stress the materials. We'll put our cover back in. Make sure it's in a good spot. Pop that into place. I'm going to reach back. Make a lot of noise. I'm going to reach behind you. First, we're going to turn the cold water on. Plug our power back in. We're going to set a small wash cycle here. If everything works as planned, and this fires right up, then I'm going to add a little bit of soap and throw in a small load of laundry. One thing to mention, normally a washer of this type, a top loader, will not function with the door open. However, for the purposes of this demonstration, I have disabled that safety. Do not do that at home, because this has a lot of power, very, very dangerous if you don't respect it. It's almost like watching paint dry, isn't it? See a few particulates floating up there from where we took things apart. Shake off some lint. We should be just about ready to engage, because it normally only fills up to about right here at a heavy load. So at an extra small, we should have action here very soon. Now, if you ever do have the problem that I encountered there with the agitator, the way that I knew there was something wrong initially was the sound was different. If you've been using any sort of machine for a long time, you know what it sounds like, what it's supposed to sound like, and when something goes wrong, you can hear it. I heard the problem with this, and then I did a little bit of research, discovered that most likely problem was the agitator. Ordered a universal replacement kit for this particular brand name, and well, you know the rest of that particular story. Ah, come on now. I really want to show you off, washer, but at this point, anybody that's watching this is giving up. There we go. Well, it works like a charm. Thank you for joining me. First, we're going to shut it off, and have a good day.